My mother was a feisty little tiny lady who was very independent. She raised my brother and I alone, and she was a strong-willed little lady. The doctor came in and told us that she had cancer, and he said, "And what are your wishes?" And she said, "My wishes are to live the rest of my life with no treatment. I just want to live till I die." The oncologist had told us 3 to 6 months was what she had to live. And at that point, she welcomed hospice to come in. Our care that we received, and I say we because they cared for my mom physically, but they also cared for our family mentally. The doctor came and he said to me quickly, "You need grief counseling," which I was a little shocked. Every Wednesday I attended a meeting and had somebody sit with my mom while I did that, and that helped me immensely. I didn't really understand why I needed grief counseling, but when you're told 3 to 6 months, that sort of makes sense. Well, our 3 to 6 months turned into 2.5 years. My mother lived 2.5 more years, and she had the best care that I can describe.
My Mimi always wanted me to know everybody in her life. And whether I was calling her or coming up every other week to visit her, she wanted to tell me about the music that she was singing along with the music therapist, and for me to live far away and be coming up every other week and get to know these people as well. They became so important and so special in my life because they were taking care of the person that was the biggest part of my heart. It's something that I will never forget.
All the workers who came in would talk to her about passing away and if she had fears. And her one wish was, "I don't want to die in my daughter's home. I would like to pass away at Elizabeth House." They told her that was not 100% guarantee because of Medicare, but they would do everything possible for her to, when it was time, to go to Elizabeth House. At the 2.5 year mark, she was declining pretty quickly, and I had to call the RN to come for an emergency visit. And that day, they told my mom, "We need to go to the Elizabeth House." And even though that sounds to some as a death sentence, my mom welcomed it with, she was so thrilled that her wish was going to be granted. She was going to get to go to Elizabeth House. And the love and the care that we all got there, if I was missing a meal sitting with her, they would bring me a meal. It didn't matter what our needs were. They were there immediately. When we would spend the night, they would be there with blankets and pillows and make us as comfortable as possible.
We were so grateful in that moment that we had found hospice and we had found Elizabeth House and we had become family with all of these people. They will always and forever be a part of our hearts and our lives.
Never think that a diagnosis of 6 months or sooner holds true, even though that is what you're given. You never know. And that's why our story is just a little bit different. It was 2.5 years of home treatment and 26 days of Elizabeth House, which is highly, highly unusual. But the care didn't stop from day one to the very end. And we can't speak enough on what your monies do for Four Seasons hospice care. It is a blessing, and it will always, always be part of our lives. I was so impressed by all of Four Seasons Hospice Care that last week I got my promotion. I'm a volunteer.